She is carrying 6 of the biggest fucking needles I've ever seen in my goddamn life. These needles are fucking gigantic. And she goes, I'm looking at her like, what? And she will not look me in the eye. And she goes, she goes, I need you to drop your pants.
Oh boy.
And usually, like, I would think cute nurse in a room asking me to drop my pants. That's like top 5 fantasies. Like, easy.
Papa's popping and locking. Magnum scrutinizing. Papa Max Podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to episode 45 of the Papa Mags Pinecast. Mags, we're now up to 307 days since we were told it'll be a few weeks until we can get our NFTs off of Data Drop.
That's it?
307. But what I did find kind of confusing this week, I don't know if you saw the reply from Wes on Discord. Wes 1, that is.
Do you think he listens?
No, I don't. But there was obviously some fallout from some of the comments made the previous week that we spoke about last week. But one of the things that I found interesting was that he made mention of movement on withdrawals of NFTs. And he said that there was a Q3, Q4 IRS review that they became aware of. And, you know, they were worried about the anti-money laundering violations vector that getting our NFTs off a Data Drop could open. So during the review, they didn't want to open up the ability to withdraw. But then he also said that the review was completed a few weeks ago. So I'm real confused here, because does a few weeks into the future mean the same thing as a few weeks when you're talking about the past?
Well, if that's true, we're all fucked.
So I'm very curious what he means by a few weeks ago. Does that mean like a day ago, or does that mean like back in May when we should have been getting these off?
Yeah, I agree, but I mean the Tigons have been moved off more than a few weeks ago. So.
Yeah, that was beginning of January. Yeah,
and then
on time. And the Datazilla,
the Beast, the Datazilla,
even before. Yeah, I mean, it's time, guys. Let's get our NFTs off of there. And listen, you know, I understand that Theta likes to just play it as conservative as possible within these aspects of life. And I appreciate that to a certain extent. But at the same time, like, you know, we both know that I can't just go and move my Tigon without somebody on Data Drop side approving the movement, right? So isn't that kind of like a mitigating factor into any anti-money laundering issue? You know, they're reviewing and okaying this stuff.
Well, I was telling you I transferred my Tigons off the other day because I saw Baller moved his off, and I was like,
something's imminent.
Yeah, I'm like, if Baller moved his off, you know, where you could, then it might be time.
Yeah.
And it didn't take me as long, but I did it on, you know, so today's Sunday right now. It's Sunday afternoon. I did it, I want to say yesterday, and I tested one on Friday night. And there was like, I mean, because nobody's working there on the weekend, and they all went through on Saturday. Like there was like a little delay, and maybe an hour or so, and then 45 minutes to, and you know, sometime over after an hour.
Yeah, but that's not how blockchain works, right? If I move from my MetaMask to yours, it takes us 5 seconds.
Right, but I'm saying you said they have to get approved. I just think it goes into like a delay queue and then approves, because well, and 2, it goes to your whitelist address
only. Yes.
Right. So it's not like, right? It's not like you.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like this doesn't work the way a MetaMask. Like I sent you an NFT this week, and I sent it, and then 10 seconds later, you had it
instantly. Thank you for that too.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, that's just my problem with it. And then also, you know, they want to talk anti-money laundering. Dude, how many times have me, you, a couple of our other tens of tens pointed out, like, oh, look at this account on here that has obviously just been hacked and is money laundering or credit card fraud, and no one can find it over there until like we literally reach out and like point out the very obvious that we're seeing. It's like,
Right.
how does that work? You know, we can see this, but you can't. But that's not a money laundering problem or a credit card fraud issue. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it goes back to the comment I think last week about, only the creators and Theta Drop are allowed to make money off the drops. Only they are allowed to know what anti-money laundering KYC is, and we are not, I think, is what it goes to.
Yeah, I really don't know, but I'm just ready to have my NFTs in my own possession at this point. So one of the other things that I found crazy that was brought up was that Wes One said that Theta Drop was break even. I mean, wait a minute. Like we got our boy Oscar on the job here. I got him crunching some numbers because we can all do math. I know some pretty good math people. And if
way better than me, for sure.
If Theta Drop is running break even, I want to take a look at their books because wow, there is some serious waste going on if they're running break even. I'd be very interested in that. So that just boggled my mind because you were just bringing it up. The Katy Perry, what is it? Ignite the Light.
Yeah, I got into a little conversation today with an individual, and he, like I said, he agreed. Like people don't know, but because they didn't hear us talk before or whatever. But he basically said like, hey, what's going on with it's $1 and they sold for $25.
Right.
And
how
there
many
never was
there?
any. There was over 6,000 of them, just under 6,200. I did and he said they were $25 a piece, so it was over 154,000 they made on. No utility was promised on it,
right?
And it was a collectible, which I guess it is to still. But he was just pointing out that it went from $25 to $1, or at least the cheapest one or whatever was $1, and they're breaking even on.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just one NFT out of a bunch that have been dropped, and now you're talking 154,000. And they get a good chunk of that. Everybody knows that. So just call it half,
Right.
And it might even be more, but you're looking at just $75,000 that they made just on Ignite the Lights. Okay.
Not the other ones.
Insane. Yeah. Like that's insane. And now do it for pineapples, do it for Symbies, Tigons, Passaways, all this stuff. And that's not even talking about their cut on secondary market. I mean, breaking even, my goodness.
I just, the one thing I'll say, because I mean I agree with what you're saying, like I always like to say, agree to agree, but
the market, you made that famous. Yeah.
the market, since the days of printing money, that's gone. So like Coinbase or whatever, how many times, how long we've been in the space now, they hired a bunch of people, then they're laying everyone off.
Yeah.
I'm saying they might have been, expanding with growth back then. They're definitely not growing now. Nobody is. Customer.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I would volunteer myself as tribute to audit and review the books over there to make sure everything's on the up and up.
All right. Well, it's on the record.
I feel like there's a lot of waste spending, and if there's one thing I'm good at, it's identifying waste and bringing it up. So
okay,
just like one of those guys from Office Space, Bob, one of the Bobs.
Sure.
So speaking of Katy Perry, let's get right down to it. We had drop number 3,
and I just want to say you can't say anything that it was not a success. I don't think I think that would be disingenuous to say it was anything other than a success.
All right, so
did it sell out instantly? Seemed like I have a feeling
it wasn't quite instant. It was
pretty
I think like 7
quick.
Yeah, it was really fast. 700 and something minted off a wait list. Yeah, this whole thing.
Secondary sales
are motoring for sure. But the problem isn't exactly this third drop, but it is the promises that were made with the first and second drop. You drop 2,500 golden lions, so let's start doing the math on that. They were $100, right? on drop day.
Uh-huh.
And then the King of Hearts. I think that was the same thing.
And wasn't there the bathroom selfie also was in
Yeah,
the first one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Was it
Maybe the
50?
bathroom selfie was 100, or I don't even remember. Whatever. I mean, we got Oscar working on that. We'll have some better
Okay.
numbers next week. But yeah, no. I mean, you drop 2,500 lions, you drop 2,500 King of Hearts, and everybody that owns one of each is thinking, okay, the third drop's coming. I'm going to have a shot at this store, and then you drop 100 of the third piece that you need, and it's wait a minute, what?
Right. Oh, I was just going to say, and it doesn't factor into that, but it factors in the first thing. You drop one lion for $600,000.
Oh, man. Yeah. Breaking even.
I hope that's not in Mitch's backyard.
I guess if they're spending all their money on buying the lion, then they might be breaking even. But I hope that they wouldn't be doing that.
Right.
But yeah, no. So, my problem with the drop was that it was disingenuous to the people that bought the first two drops with the expectation of being able to have some kind of a nostalgia store. That was ridiculous. The fact that there was only 100 of these third pieces of the pie to get you to the nostalgia store, which was just a box. I mean, the whole thing just reeks for sure. However, I was called a hypocrite for getting into it and buying them, because I did buy this third drop in hopes that others would want it and sell from it. And I'll be honest, I was also targeting, and I'm happy that they did this, I think it was the second one, like the one that has 300, where you can get the T-Drop VIP, because I think it went unnoticed that I had dumped my T-Drop VIP about a couple months ago. You never even noticed. We're still calling me a T-Fuel Maxi at the time, a T-Drop
Maxi, yeah.
Even though I didn't have it anymore. But now I did fulfill that challenge. So now I have the fake T-Drop in my wallet that I can't do anything with, but I have the bronze again. So I feel whole.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just funny. It's just funny to criticize something and then take part in it. But that's just me. I didn't take part in it.
Yeah.
So I'm just,
You're setting the bar high though here. I mean, honestly, I don't agree with the way the whole thing went down. I think it was nonsense, but it did seem like this was a good opportunity to try to just salvage back some of what I spent on the first two.
To be fair, and I've mentioned this before on the first one, my sale went through before yours, but it took longer to mint. You put yours on. You got it a lot quicker than me, and you got to sell because it's before they changed. Wait till everything mints, and you made quite a penny on that sale, if I do recall.
I don't really remember that, but I'll take your word for it.
So what I'm saying is you already bought and sold out and then bought back in on the cheap. And I'm saying I wouldn't label you as, somebody who took this at face value. You already profited off of it. So
yeah,
and you profited again. Hey, take profits. That's
you never lose when you take a profit. I haven't done it with anything else really. So
I haven't done it ever. I'm hoping to take a profit someday.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list. All right, so there was also, this one was actually real fun. The W3 Gaming Challenge.
Oh God. Oh God.
So it's funny because all of a sudden I see that this challenge goes live and there's nothing about it. And there's no announcement. There's nothing. And then it's one of those things where finally they're like, oh, come over to Theta TV and you can get your claim code, and you redeem it and you open up a box on Theta Drop. So I jumped over to Theta TV almost immediately, and I was able to secure a code basically immediately. As soon as
Great.
I responded, there was a bot. It must have been a bot that was just dropping them, but I'm assuming that wasn't how it went for you.
Well, no. So they had this W3 gaming thing super early. I think it was when around the time West One was in Istanbul promoting the meme chain.
Yeah.
There's a tweet out there. It's pretty good. But you alerted me to this, and I think you woke me up and because it was like super early in the morning. For
I think
this.
it was like 4 a.m. our time. Yeah.
Right. And so I got my ass up and commenting, and it's everyone's getting them before me, and everyone after I comment, everyone's getting them, and then I comment again, and same thing. People before me, people after me are getting these codes, and I'm not. I'm getting absolute shit. So I'm like, this is bullshit. So then you found out. You told me. I think I was sleeping in. I don't know when this was. But so I was like, okay. And then oh no, I was at work. I wasn't
Yeah.
sleeping.
Yeah. It
No.
was.
Yeah. I was at work and I kept doing the same thing and I didn't get a damn code that apparently, once again, people before me, people after me were getting codes. So I said, don't ever tell me again when this thing is because I'm sick of wasting my time. I got up at 4 a.m. the last time and I got fucking nothing. And I even bought one off the secondary market on Theta Drop too. That
Oh,
first
what a
one.
guy.
Yeah. And then now, and that first one, I don't even think they even gave out all the codes. I
Yeah, I
think
don't know. I'm
because
not sure.
Zilla was crunching the numbers on those ones, I believe, and said, it says there's this many, but there wasn't that many given out. So I don't know what's up
Could
with
still
that.
have them in the bag. Yeah.
But yeah, like
but the challenge is. Oh no, it wasn't a challenge. That was just a code. Yeah.
Yeah. So it just doesn't seem fair or equitable if I keep getting. I mean, fool me once, right? Fool me twice.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not, and I'm just gonna keep. I'm gonna continue to bash him because I think there was some other developments from this lucrative deal for the Chosen.
Yeah, I don't quite know how to feel about this, right? Because, you got plenty of times where people are doing drops and charging for the drops where they're holding back a certain percentage of the drop for their own purposes and for their people. So I'm not sure if that's what happened here, but there was certainly somebody, USD something, I forget exactly what his name was, but he came along all of a sudden late in the day and just all of a sudden he must have had like 30 or 40 codes that he dropped in and was just redeeming everything, right? And then he goes through and redeems all of the challenges, and then it's just fire sale, drop the price to the floor to get rid of the leftovers.
What do you mean you don't know how to feel about it? Because I don't feel good about it. Are you saying you feel another way about it, or do you think that's cool?
I'm not. I don't know, because it was free, right? I
Yep.
don't feel good about people that went over there and made the attempt to get these things not getting them. I think that's a bunch of baloney. There should be a better system in place where this is automatic. Okay, I'm on Theta TV. I clicked hello, or I said hello or whatever, or I stayed a certain amount of time. I should automatically get that somehow. And if that's not the case, then it needs to be updated and changed, because there's no reason why this should have happened to you, where you go over there and you don't get the code, even after staying on for a bunch of time and watching this stuff and commenting a few times, because that's all that it was required to do. So,
I wasn't the only one, I think, too.
Probably not. I'm curious though, after the fact, have you gone into your inventory to see if it's just, and it's still not there?
Fuck no.
That's ridiculous. I mean,
I kept checking out. I kept going back. I'm like, oh, did I miss something? And I go back and I'm scrolling. I don't see it. So, yeah, last I checked, there's nothing in the inventory, and it's too late now.
I mean, that's completely ridiculous.
The easy money's already been made.
Well, yeah. I mean, the challenges are still live, so you can probably still do something with it. But yeah, I don't know how this guy got all those codes. But if you are the creator of the drop, assume that's the creator. If you're the creator of the drop and you're holding, 5% for yourself, is it okay to do that? What do you think?
No.
No?
Not when people like me who, have been watching Theta TV for over a year that have earned 0.4
I know. Don't get me started on that. Yeah. Watch and earn T-Fuel. Click here.
Can't even
don't work.
Give a damn code that everyone else is getting. So there's no way. I mean, because if he just happened to be the luckiest person and the bot just kept giving him that, well, that's bullshit. No way that happened.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case.
Because I didn't get anything. Someone of my caliber and stature. and dedication to trying to get free shit. And then he just gets all this stuff to dump on the secondary market. That's almost, you know what? I mean, it's right up their playbook because I mean, look at the Knights' first drop.
I was just going to bring that up. So
please do remind our listeners.
Well, I'm just curious. So, you know, is that worse than what the Knights did? Because they held back a good percentage of their NFTs and gave them out to their gamers. And dude, every single one of them was like one of the special ones with the gold chains, or you know, it's like every single one of them. So
and they dumped them all on the market.
They pretty much just got out there and opened it and dumped it. Yeah, none of them stuck around as far as I know.
No.
So I'm curious, like, what is worth? Because what is worse? Because those were going for free. Like, no one had to pay to get those unless you bought it on the secondary market. But these Knights ones were going, like, they were minting for whatever it was. And these are the more special ones. So it's like you're giving away the premiums.
I mean, I don't know if it's even necessary to say which one's worse, but I think the free one's worse because they came up with challenges that made it more interactive. Like it created the demand, and there's different rarities of them that you could use. So you have people that hop on and get dick, and then you have somebody get all these free codes, and then they're dumping them all, like one person, versus, you know, which is you know, I think they need to audit Theta TV and this shit, because you know, you can have these contests, but that's absolute bullshit. And I shouldn't have to wake up at 4 in the fucking morning during a work day. Well, I mean, any day actually. And to try to participate in a free thing that it's known that, you know, you get something. If you interact, you should get something. And that's how they put it out. And you don't get it. You don't get a damn thing. And then meanwhile, this guy gets, you know, a shit ton of these free codes that they didn't give away.
Yeah.
So,
no, I agree. Both are ridiculous, and this venture of giving these codes out needs to be fixed. It needs to be automatic, and there needs to be some thought put into this for sure. Yeah. But I actually have a great story about this, because I was successfully able to get one, and I was like, whatever, it's free. I'll just open it up. And even if it's the most common one, you can use the most common one and the regular gamer dude to fulfill a challenge. And you get basically 2 for 1. So I was opening it, hoping that it was going to be the most common, just to be done with it and get the extra NFT. Mm-hmm. But I open it and I get the most rare one.
Did really? I didn't know this.
Yep. So I got the rare one. And I list it for sale for like whatever, $40 or $50, T-Fuel only. T-Fuel only, because no, it wasn't T-Fuel only because I didn't have that yet.
Right.
So I told Theta Zilla Club, and he's like, "Oh, dude," he's like, "you should sell it to Akirk on stream right now." So I look up and I look at the offers, and there's an offer in for like 500 T-Fuel. It was like whatever that, $25 or something for this one. Mm-hmm. And I thought about taking it. I was like, 500 T-Fuel for nothing, like, you know, for free. But I went on to his stream, and he had been buying up these packs to open them, and he was just missing the most rare one. And he kept on not getting it. Yeah. So as I go on to his stream, he's like, "All right, this is the last one, guys. This is the last one. This is going to be it. Like, we're going to get this. We're going to fill these things. I'm going to be done." And he rips it open, and he kind of like walks away from his computer as he's doing it, and he gets it. So he gets the most rare one, which is all he needed to fulfill the last challenge. So what do? What's the most trolliest thing in the world you can do at this point?
Was there a limit on the challenges claimed?
Yeah, just one. Well, you only get 1 per person. Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, I scurry over to the offers and accept his offer. Immediately. And it goes through, right? And so now my man Akirk has 2. And I think he had another offer out. He killed the offer, and he goes into his inventory to do the challenge. And he's like, wait a minute, why do I have 2 of these now? And he's like, oh man, my offer went through. I forgot to delete it. And he's like, who's Eddie Brock? Eddie Brock, you're in here. You're trolling me. Where are you, Eddie?
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah. So I got him good. I mean, I probably could have, if I held out longer, I could have gotten more for it. But just the satisfaction of that was just incredible. And it turned out fine for Akirk too, because he put it up for sale and he ended up making an extra 50 T fuel or something. So.
Oh.
Yeah. But that,
story.
I mean, I had a great laugh out of that.
Pretty good.
How did I get 2 of these?
And we will be right back.
This week's episode is brought to you by Dr. Theta's Community Guardian Node. Theta's premier community guardian node where you can stake your Theta if you don't run your own guardian node. Best of all, 100% uptime so you do not miss any rewards and 0 fees so you earn 100% of your T-Fuel. Trusted by Theta Labs, you can easily stake directly within your wallet. Simply go to the Staking tab, choose Delegated Guardian Node, and find Dr. Theta's Guardian Node. Quick, simple, reliable, and best of all, safe, as the coins never leave your wallet. Stake with the Doc today.
Papa Max, yeah. Papa Max. Papa Max Podcast. Papa Max Podcast.
We've been giving Theta Drop a hard time, but I did notice there was some updates on Theta Drop this week. And let's start with the good one, right?
Sure.
The filters are now in alphabetical order. Thank you, Theta Drop. Because now I don't got to scroll up and down, in between, and all around to find pines or symbiotes or whatever you're looking for, because they're in alphabetical order and it makes sense. That's for the marketplace buying them, and that's for recent sales too. How they were filtering before, I mean, filtering them on the marketplace based on how many are out there is just like silly. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a million digital Daves out there. Nobody wants them, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so great update on that. Thank you. And they also did an update where it shows you how many things have been burned and how many are left in circulation. But there's a little issue on that, right? Because the Tygons, they didn't sell out. And it didn't update. Fuse Guardians didn't sell out. It didn't update. So I'm assuming all of these drops where there wasn't a sellout didn't update properly, which is what the Tygons have been fighting for ages, so that people can understand, like, there's only this many, right?
They're even rarer.
Right. They're way more rare than people think, and so are the Fuse Guardians. So, but this does work though for like the metal prints. Like metal prints, there's only one left out there.
No shit.
There's one of one.
Oh, that's cool.
It works for popcorn, even though you can't redeem them anymore. But everything else where I think it's not pack related or where the packs did sell out works, because you can even see like the Katy Perry. Just recently, I was looking, it was like down to 200 left. So 800 of them had been opened already, which is a massive amount. So I don't know if you noticed that update or had any thoughts on that.
No, I mean, sounds good.
Sounds good if it works right. Yeah.
Well, I just taught myself where pines and Symbies were on the drop down, so I didn't have to look really.
Yeah.
So it got my reflexes attuned, and now we got to go alphabetical order. I mean, alphabetical order isn't like the end all be all. I mean, look at the keyboard. I think the keyboard works better because it's in these crazy, the letters are in different, not alphabetical.
When I'm looking at a list, dude, alphabetical order is the end all for sure. Because I'm good with the alphabet, you know.
You'd be good typing in alphabetical order too on a keyboard?
Now I'm used to a keyboard the way it is, but when I'm looking at a list of something, it's just easier to find. Like, oh, scroll down. All right, there it is. Alphabetical order. Boom.
Okay. All right. Well, but I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're happy with it, I'm happy.
Well, I was more curious about your take on the numbers for the Tygons not being updated properly with this update. Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised. Is there anything though that the Tygon team could do because those other ones were burnt? Like, could they I don't know how these smart contracts.
Yeah, I don't really know.
So, I mean, maybe there's more to this. Maybe there's more to the story than we know.
There could be. Who knows? But
I'm sure I'll be told.
we'll find out now. But speaking of the Tygons team, the verified labs team, they had an exciting little announcement for a drop coming up, huh? The one and only Steve McQueen, even though it was on there as Stephen McQueen for a few days. It's like, come on, guys. Like, this guy's an icon and you're going to call him Stephen McQueen? Ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. It was cool. Well, the thing that came up that I saw said Steve McQueen, but
yes, the front part said Steve McQueen, and then when you went into the details, it said the Stephen McQueen. And I got the receipts.
Okay. Good.
I sent it to you, actually. Guess you didn't look.
I probably did, but I get so many messages. It's just tough to keep up with them all. But yeah, someone was complaining. I think they tweeted like, Katy Perry, why is this shit still up here on the homepage? And then like fucking like almost like immediately this thing pops up and gets somebody caught it, and I think I retweeted it, and I was like, that was quick,
Yeah, exactly.
Did you happen to read the Medium article that they put out on it? Sounds pretty cool.
I didn't read it, no. I read the details on the Theta Drop page though, so it's a drop of like 2,800, or is it 2,780 motorcycles generative, and then there's some other stuff, one of ones and things of that nature.
Yeah, I know it was under 3,000, over 2,000. That's what I remember.
It was either 2,780 or 2,870 because his racing number was either 278 or 287. I think it was 278, but I'm not in front of my computer. And this actually wasn't on my list here, but this is off the cuff.
Okay. Oh, and this is not the guy that does kapow, kachow, kapow.
This is not like, no.
Oh, wrong McQueen. Okay. My bad.
I am certainly more familiar with the latter. So we did have an update this week from the syndicates, aka Thetaverse, aka Symbiotes. Right. So well, we got it. Well, we had first. Okay, so first we had news about the Syndicate Marketplace. That was earlier this week, right? So that's definitely breaking news for a lot of people that didn't know. Going to be a new marketplace in town in the future. Once the Fuse Wars game is ready to go, there's going to be a market for Fuse Wars on the Syndicate. It's going to be called the Syndicate Marketplace, and it's going to be more than just Fuse Wars on there. So that's super exciting. And then today, I don't know if you saw my post earlier this morning where I just did 3 pictures: a picture of a steak sizzling, a picture of breaking news, and then a picture of soon.
I did not.
So that was this morning, right? And then just to show what I mean by soon, it was a couple hours later that there was literally breaking news posted in Symbiotes. The Discord's probably going wild right now as we speak, that broke down the staking rewards for all the NFTs as well as the VROA rewards pool. We got the burning challenges for the NFTs starting up on April 21st on Theta Drop. They're scheduled for then, at least. Hopefully everything goes right on Theta Drop's end. But yeah, no, exciting times. The community got a big piece of the puzzle today, so they can start making their decisions onto whether they want to hold to stake the NFTs or they want to burn them to get some more VROAs. So
as I mentioned recently, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, very exciting. I've noticed I've been getting a lot of offers all of a sudden now after that stuff was released.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I go on my page, like almost all of my top offers are always Symbiotes. And then you get down to the junk. I mean, there's still plenty of junk that is offered for them.
Right.
But
just real quick though, back to McQueen.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know if you saw from my account, I put a poll out there and they're usually
Yes, I
legally
did.
binding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know how this is going to work, but we asked if basically Justin Trevor Winners and Andrea would come on to the show to talk about this drop.
Yeah, no
Uh,
pressure, guys.
So right now I'm looking at it, 133 votes cast, 85% say hell yes, and 15% say absolutely. So
Oh, wow. So 100% in agreement.
yeah, it's crazy. So sounds like
Sounds like a hell yeah.
sounds like a hell yeah. And I saw Justin Trevor Winners also retweet, say, hey,
Yeah.
let's say hell yeah. So that's a good number within like a day or so. So
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully JTW doesn't go scuba diving in some kind of infested waters here anytime soon. So he's good to go for the next round.
yeah, don't want that happening again.
Oh man. All right. So we skipped Pine news, dude. And there's some breaking news from today. But before we get into that, there was another special pine that was moved basically just after we finished last episode. Swampy, now the proud owner of a zombie pine.
Big news.
Big news. That same one that Ketcha just traded for. So, things hit Ketcha's hands, and then you never know. You never know what's going to happen with them. So, congrats to Swampy. Congrats to Ketch. That's a very rare pine you got there.
Yep.
Magnum's not jealous at all.
Little.
And then today, I just happened to catch a piece of it. I didn't really even see the whole thing, but it looks like we got Check 21 and Chef Pine doing a deal for the original Chef custom, right?
I saw that.
Octopus Chef, right?
Huge news. Chef's been trying to get that for quite a while, and I don't know. It looked like they did a trade of some sort.
Yeah, from what I understand, there was some Symbies involved, and there was 5 pines involved. So I haven't had a chance to really digest the whole trade, but man, that's honestly, like getting that pine over to Chef's hands, that seems pretty at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was about to send an offer over to check for that, and apparently I didn't pull the trigger and send my offer in. So, but I was, it sounded like I could have sworn there was something in Discord about he wasn't looking to trade. So then to find out
really?
there was trades involved, I mean, I usually stick to the rules that are posted, but other people play by other rules. So that's cool too,
Ooh.
So
okay, yeah. Just throw some shade, even though we're indoors.
Just saying.
All right. Yeah. So there was one other update I wanted to do. A couple weeks ago, we brought some more attention to the redeemables that have been expired, that are still listed as redeemables.
Right.
There's an update.
Okay.
The update is that there's no update. They're still listed as redeemables, even though they're expired. Sorry, guys. Just needed to throw that out there.
Okay. Well, we know they don't listen, so.
Oh yeah, no, wasn't expecting them to.
I think there's like a company-wide memo goes out. Do not listen to these people, and they
well, it's because we're not
ecosystem approved.
Yeah, right.
Right.
We're adjacent still.
We're adjacent, so.
All right,
maybe.
So now we got a little Twitter action, as we normally do. And the first thing I wanted to call out was the Theta Network announcing the new hackathon. So that's good news. We got some projects that are going to be able to hopefully take advantage of this. Hopefully continue to build after they win.
I think I checked earlier this week, and what did it say? Like 20. There's a bunch of money, $250,000.
Yeah, $250,000. Yep.
And different categories.
Yeah.
And last I checked, sometime earlier in the last week or whatever, there was like 26 entrants.
Oh wow! Yeah, I know that the entry.
Kind of like those odds.
Yeah. I think the entry period just started, so people still have some time to enter. But I just found it. I mean, I found it funny, the wording. It was like the the hackathon that brought you Fuse Wars was mentioned, and it's like, wait a minute, what? Like, first of all, Fuse Wars it wasn't even Fuse Wars. It was the VROAs that were entered into hackathon, and they were graded. They got third place, and God bless Doc Theta and Theta Bulls, but I haven't really seen much going on there. And they came in second, and D Empire that came in first. That was a complete rug. So it's just a bit of like pouring salt in a wound to bring this up and like now try to ride the coattails of a project that is successful in spite of rather than because of. So I found that odd.
I think that's a little harsh, and that's coming from me. Because
I don't.
won. Oh, they don't. So they didn't win anything. They did win something.
Came in third
obviously,
place. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
it wasn't the game. It was the VROAs specifically
that are going to be used in the game.
But that's different. That's not the game. It's not Fuse Wars. For your VROAs aren't going to be in Fuse Wars.
Okay.
So just saying,
all right.
They're not.
All right. I think we're splitting hairs. I don't think that was the intent, but that's not me.
Taking Team Theta on this one, huh?
No, I'm not taking Team Theta.
Was it you that wrote that?
If there'd be a lot, if I wrote anything, it would have been the misspelling of Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
You remember there used to be like a language? Remember when we first got in a group chat with all the guys from back in the day?
Oh man, yeah.
And because we used to email constantly, and then we slowed down in the email, and then we started texting, and then we used that app that we use, and and then so they'd be like, "What the hell is he saying?" Then all of a sudden, I think
can someone translate this for me?
We'd add new people would come in, and they'd be like, "Oh, you know exactly what I'm saying, even though it's all spelled wrong."
Yeah.
No,
there's been plenty of times where it's just like, wait, I can read this 4 or 5 times. I still have no idea what you're trying to say. And then one of us will come along and be like, "Oh, you're saying this." It's like, dude, how did you get
Daryl's
that?
like, Daryl's like, he's saying this, obviously.
Oh yeah, that's obvious. Yeah.
So I'm not the person I'm not the ambassador of English to anyone, and should not be. So
well, all right. So how about this? Like, what if they all of a sudden were like, "Oh, the network that brought you Pop and Max"?
Well, yeah, I would have something to say about that.
Okay, this is the same thing, I think, in my opinion.
Okay, fair.
It was a slighting. Now it's being misrepresented, and now they're trying to ride the coattails. That's just how I see it. But
what if they come out and they crush it in this hackathon? Are they in this hackathon?
Yeah, they are. Well, that's a different story. I mean that would just be righting a wrong. Because Fuse Wars was not in. It wasn't a contestant. It was just the VROA mechanics and the cutting edge NFT technology that wasn't as good as some D Empire that decided to stop working immediately after they got the money.
So you're saying that, what is that show? I don't know, from the 90s with Scott Bakula. He'd go back to some event and he'd right a wrong, and every week he was hoping for his leap home. Do you remember that one?
Nope. Don't.
Yeah. Oh, Quantum Leap.
Okay. All right.
Right. So he'd get into a body of someone, or like a woman, a man, a kid.
Gotcha.
And it would be him, and you look in the mirror, and then it's like somebody completely different.
Yeah.
It always would start like, "Oh boy," like he's in some like compromising situation, whatever. And I think like part of the intro was like he's Dr. So and so, and he's trying to right the wrongs and hoping that his next leap will be the leap home, and then it's never like the leap home. It's
Gotcha.
He's in some crazy situation, try to right the wrong. So maybe that's we got a quantum leap situation going on our hands.
Oh, hey, maybe.
You've definitely seen that show. Don't give me that.
Yeah, and there's actually a remake of it out new now too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, just so there was some other this one we can agree upon on Twitter. We have this guy Theta Stories coming out of nowhere.
Right.
And bashing Andrea. And I don't know. It's like, he comes out and he's like, oh, I was muted by her, blocked by her a couple days ago, but I wasn't happy with what she did for the whole year prior to that. And it's like, all right, first of all, she hasn't even been here for a year. So let's start there. But then later on, he's like, oh, well, what has she done? It's like, wait a minute, you're asking us what she's done, but you're telling us that you're not happy with what she's done. Like, how could you not be happy with what someone's done unless you know what they've done?
Yeah, it sounded like a troll from the beginning, this Theta Stories. And
yeah,
I think I hopped on there, and
you certainly did.
I did not want to, I didn't want to give them any, Clearwater Revival, that, I'm not going to listen to trolls. I'm sick of it, because that's what going. And then, it was Enter the Troll Man came in after that. Your boy, who shall not be named, because we're not going to give him any of that CCR.
Yeah.
So yeah, that just, it's freaking insane. And then too, the thing about Andrea is I can't speak for any of these other Theta people, because they do have Twitter accounts. They rarely use them. They retweet a deal or something like that. She's on there. She's engaging with the community daily. So
no, for sure. And we know better than others how much love that she has for this project and for the community, and how much she's doing. And it's listen, guys, lay off. It would be such a terrible thing for Theta overall if Andrea wasn't a part of it. So, I have little patience for that.
But yeah, if you don't know, then you're not paying attention, and you can find out yourself then of what she's doing.
And speaking of Andrea, there was one point last week where she had the perfect bracket going after a big Princeton upset. And that's not so much the case anymore, but
no, she's done earning any further points.
Yeah. So, but now we got 2 people left as of recording that have the winners, possibly still alive, right? It's
right. Not in a first place position or anything like that, but they have the ability to get some significant pointage.
Right.
I would say.
Yeah, because you have possible points remaining.
Correct.
So that would be 1 Magnum pineapple, right?
No big deal.
And Theta Tygon King.
Tygon King.
Nice.
In front of the Pinecast, he's been on the show. Shout out.
Yeah, that guy. Cool. So, but the questions come up now. What were the rules of this contest?
What were the rules of the contest?
Because you like to play by the rules. You said earlier in the show.
Yeah. What were the rules of the contest?
I thought it was strictly 1 entry per person.
Okay.
And now we're hearing stories from our chief correspondent Swampy that somebody has more than 1 entry.
I think Simple is the one that brought this up.
Did he?
Of fucking course.
That wouldn't surprise me. I saw Swampy mention it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just
a friend of stirring the pot.
Right. Well, yeah, so the Pig Viking submitted a bracket. He doesn't have a winner live, and it's funny because I got put on the spot from this contest. And the thing about because we shouldn't be taking part in contests, but if it's something at this magnitude where nobody has any advantage over anyone else, right, then that makes it fair. And also too, I was what started this contest was I was already voluntold by an employee, implies they probably got paid.
Yeah, but that's not an employee. Intern
gone rogue, who volunteered one of my NFTs up. So that was that was something. But I thought it was 1 per Twitter account.
Okay.
So.
Because I think the only person that doesn't know that you're the Pig Viking is Joey TV.
You don't have to out the Pig Viking. He's out there already.
If you don't know, how do you not know? This was a big, huge deal when you opened the Pig Viking. Huge.
It was huge. I got no sleep.
And all you got to do is go to thetararity.com and plug in Pig Viking.
Yeah. Okay. So what's next what's next? I throw myself on the behest of everyone. I mean, clearly, Pig Viking was never going to collect. But you don't have to believe me. Um, but maybe I got caught with my pants down, hands in the cookie jar, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed it right away. I didn't really care.
But could you explain? Just to be fair, though, could you explain to everyone how my because we didn't like have a sheet of integrity. We should have said that maybe. But
yeah.
But can you explain, with your knowledge of me and the tournament, how my brackets go?
Is UConn still alive?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they're in the Final Four, so your bracket at least has one in the Final Four.
But do I take UConn every year?
Oh, every day, every time UConn, no matter what seed they are, every time UConn's in the tournament, you put them as the winner. They could be a 12 seed, and you would have them all the way as the winner. In fact, one year they ran it from a low seed, right? Were they 8?
They were well, I think they were a 7. They were, but 2. They were in the Big East. Is the Big East back together now? Is that?
I mean, there's always been a Big East, but they keep on changing who's in it.
Right. Well, it's like all the other teams. Like I think Pitt left to go. A bunch of teams left, and like UConn was
Keeps
the last
changing. Yeah.
UConn was like the non-Catholic college in there, I think.
Oh, gotcha.
I think that's what happened. So they went someplace else, and I don't know if that panned out, but it seems like I don't know. I don't pay too much attention. I mean, and I've never seen UConn play, though I've enjoyed them over the years. In fact, they were playing in my hometown last weekend.
Right.
And I was
round
out of
1
town.
and 2. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was out of town. So, that right down the street from where I work.
Literally.
A
few blocks away.
Blocks away. With Bill Murray showed up too. I don't know if you saw that, but
oh yeah,
nice. You should be a friend of the Pinecast, Bill Murray.
Oh, there's a Bill Murray that was in the town I grew up with. Man, what a character! Wow.
Yeah, must be a thing.
So yeah, all right. So this one time, I'm living with my buddies, and we get this like big, huge like bonfire ready to go. We got all the wood ready. We're gonna have a nice party that night. Dude, we come home from work. It's a Friday night, and there's Bill Murray drinking, and all the fire is burnt. He like had a bonfire all to himself during the day at our house. It was ridiculous.
Nice.
Yeah. And then he coined the phrase that I go to sometimes. It's if someone was giving him a hard time, he'd be like, "You better pack a lunch and bring a friend, buddy, because I ain't no joke."
I don't get that reference at all.
If someone was giving you a hard time and wanted to fight, pack a lunch and bring a friend.
Okay.
Because I ain't no joke. All right. Whatever.
All right.
You don't get it. That's
Had
fine.
to be there. Yeah.
Okay. I think you're probably the only one not getting it. But let's go into shout outs here, because there's a guy under the radar that has been, I think, like a pretty good listener lately, and it's our boy Strigg. Always giving us props on Twitter. Shout out Strigg. Yep. And to go right along with that, his boy and our boy, especially your boy, Rob Feldman,
right,
is in the middle of a Meeps head drop that dropped this week it's like a Pog drop. So good luck with that, Rob. I saw some of the gameplay a little bit on Theta TV. Looks pretty interesting. Definitely looking forward. I got a few Pogs myself. I think you did as well.
I did. So
yeah, shout out to those guys, and hoping that project goes well for you.
Yeah, very cool. On Open Theta.
On opentheta.io. That's correct. Another project that was brought to you by the hackathon.
Right. Theta, just like Theta Millions.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yee.
Yeah.
Too soon.
I actually saw some of those selling this week. Like, who's buying
really?
That? Yeah. Okay, never mind. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, so I know that we came to the end of our review period, right? That we were going to have this giveaway for the Theta Unchained packs from Doc.
Right.
Shout out Doc again. Thank you. And I'm hearing what's the story on that?
So I posted, or no, not me. The Papa Mag's account posted what the current spreadsheet was of entrants, is what you'd say. People who'd make entries, I think.
Sounds
Entrants.
right.
Right.
Sounds right. Yeah.
So I put out there so everyone can see, because maybe I missed some stuff, right? And what's going to happen is, and we've already had one Charizard 69, also a friend of the Pinecast. Shout out. He showed one that I missed, and I added it to the spreadsheet. So I mean, hopefully you hear this before Theta Zo's club stream, because he's streaming it. He's probably going to stream it in the morning, but he could do the afternoon. And let me know. I will add you to that wheel. The Pig Viking is not on there. Just to get that straight or whatever. So yeah, I think I've been putting this off. I kept saying I was gonna put it, but between regular March Madness and the Papa Mags Classic March Madness bracket and life in general, I just didn't get a chance to get it out there. And I desperately want to give these packs away, so it's off our plate, you know.
But I mean, it hasn't even been a couple of weeks yet, so we're
right,
still good.
Right. Yeah, St. Patrick's Day was the 17th. Oh, it was like last week or ish.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're good.
Oh, yeah. We're good. We're still
so
good.
Zilla's going to be doing the wheel spin on Tuesday to give those out. So good luck, everyone, and thank you for the reviews.
Yeah, appreciate that.
And then speaking of posts, I saw that Mac Camp Theta posted something about your favorite camping picture.
Yeah.
And you did you go camping with a cat or something? What was that about?
It was me. I think I said reconnecting with wildlife in the desert. So that was a picture of me when I was overseas. That when I was in Kuwait. I shared another one with a Starbucks in Saudi. But I was in Kuwait. We had this cat who, this feral cat who would come by and hang out around our building. And because of COVID, me and one of my coworkers, we split our team up, and I worked from 2 to 10 at night, local time there. And so there wasn't a lot to do between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. as you can imagine, anywhere.
Lucky you.
Yeah, lucky me. So anyways, yeah, we had this cat, and it was weird. The cat would disappear sometimes for a couple weeks, and we're like, oh man, maybe one of the coyotes got it. And eventually the cat showed back up. But cats, man, they're crazy. So I got scratched one time by the cat, and it was no big deal. And two, there's vets out there, not uniformed people that are vets, but veterinarians out there. It's they give a lot of these animals, they're up to date on I think what they need to be. So there's that. So anyways, when I was coming home, we're coming home and we're still in the thralls of COVID. This is November 2020.
Coming home to the States.
Coming back, yeah, stateside. And this lovely place called Fort Hood and North Fort Hood, shout out. And we basically couldn't do shit, but then we had to do our medical clearance so we could go back home, whatever, right? So everyone's looking forward to that. It's been a long deployment, and COVID didn't help anything, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so anyways, but me, I'm way too honest, I think sometimes, all the time. I can't,
Yes, yeah.
So
you have no filter. Yeah.
I have no filter. And even paperwork, I can't lie to paperwork. So we're filling out this thing, and it was hey, did you experience any contact where you got bit or scratched by wildlife, while overseas or whatever? So I was
no, wait, before you answer that, how long before that did this happen?
June.
So 5 months before.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm thinking like, yeah, no, I want to get everything documented. They're asking me a question. I'm going to answer the question. And it's funny too, before I even but okay. So in this thing where I'm answering the question or whatever, there's like signs because it's the place we went through medical before we went overseas. And there's signs like, like don't touch wildlife and don't interact like when you're overseas or whatever. Like fucking posters all over the place, whatever. So
I thought you are a stickler for the rules.
depends on the rules. I didn't, and two, I didn't notice those posters when I was going through.
Oh, okay.
I'll
Maybe
say
they were
that.
new. They might have
Right.
been new.
Sure. So anyways, I do the form, and then all of a sudden I get to this medical provider, and they're going over my charts, and they see that I marked, whatever, and I explain. They go, "Oh, well, you got to go across the road to the actual hospital and go to and get admitted to the emergency room, and they need to look." I'm like, "Fucking why?" And they go, "Those are the rules." So it was me and some other people, were foolish enough to answer that question. And I was like the third one. And it turns out I know there was at least 5, if not more. And that was just of the one group that came back. And so we all get like admitted into like the, like a room, whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And so talk to like the doctor, and then this nurse is like, "Yep, you're just gonna get a shot. We'll wait 15 minutes and then you're done." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool." She goes, and she's like telling me, also like super cute, like, it's like, "Oh, this is not the worst thing." She goes, "You'll get a shot, you'll wait 15 minutes, and then we'll send you back." And I was like, "Okay." So she does the shot, 15 minutes are up. She comes in, dude, you ready for this? She
Yeah.
is carrying 6 of the biggest fucking needles I've ever seen in my goddamn life. These needles are fucking gigantic. And she goes, I'm looking at her like, "What?" And she will not look me in the eye. And she goes, I she goes, "I need you to drop your pants."
Oh boy.
And usually, like, I would think cute nurse in a room ask me to drop my pants. That's like top 5 fantasies. Like, easy. Easy. And it's, when you're in the military, you're like pants are tucked into your boots, so it's like,
Yeah.
not ideal, whatever. So I'm just looking at her like, "You motherfucker, like this is some bullshit." Dude, she had to put she she had to get these 5 shots in my legs. And some people, though, if they were like too skinny, they'd have to like put it in their ass, I guess. So luckily that didn't happen for me. And then so I was like, "What a freaking disaster!" All because I said, "This cat scratched me," and it
Oh
like barely
man.
broke the skin. There was like a little blood, and I like put like whatever in it that I needed, like to like clean it out, like
Yeah.
fucking immediately. But I can't lie to these fucking forms. So yeah, then I got stuck, and then we're still in COVID back in New York. When I come home, and I'm told that I have to complete this series. So
What does
there
that
is
mean?
that means I have to go 2 other times to get 6 more shots the same way.
Oh.
And so I call the Navy clinic, who is my provider, and they said "Oh, well, because you haven't been back to New York for 2 weeks, we can't see you." So I go, "Well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Should I just ignore this?" And they said, "No, you can't ignore it." So I had to go to the emergency room and get these shots. My God.
What?
Yes. So like, I mean, the takeaway of that is it's not, I'm too honest, and that's not the situation I wanted with the cute nurse in the room. But
So I'm assuming by this time, whatever scratch you had had been completely healed over. And
yes.
you weren't like foaming at the mouth.
No. Yeah, like I said, this happened in June because I had to like figure out when it happened. And like, yeah, they didn't care. They wouldn't have cared if
Oh
it was a
man.
fucking year. Yeah.
Oh wow. That's rough, dude. That's rough.
So yeah, I got my battle scar from that, I guess.
Well, what was worse, that or the W3 gaming
The
incident?
W3 gaming.
5 shots in the ass. I'll take
They
it.
bet, and they just bet me over twice.
Actually, yeah, that was in the ass. The other ones were in the leg.
Yeah. Right. Oh my God.
All right, man. Well, hey, you got anything else over there you wanted to bring up in this crazy week
No.
again?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, we do have a guest lined up for next week, so we're looking forward to that. But until then, hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you on the boards.
You have been listening to the Pops and Mags Pinecast. Music provided by Sushi Cat. Like what you hear? Send that cat a very nicely worded compliment on Twitter at JustAddSpam. Pops and Mags is a Scumbag Hat production in association with Kyle's Hot Tub.